It was late, a deep stillness blanketing Hogwarts castle. But in the Gryffindor common room, the fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the faces of three very awake first years. Harry, Ron, and Hermione were huddled together, their whispers sharp and urgent. "I'm telling you," Hermione insisted, tapping a frantic finger on her notebook. "The Philosopher's Stone. It's not just about turning metal into gold. Someone wants to steal it, and I have a terrible feeling it's going to be tonight." Ron pulled his robes tighter around him, shivering despite the warmth from the fireplace. "I knew it," he muttered. "Never a quiet year at Hogwarts, is there?" Harry felt a familiar, prickling sensation in his scar. It was a warning, a sign he'd come to know all too well. He clenched his wand, the wood feeling solid and real in his hand. "Then we can't just sit here and wait," he said, his voice firm. "We have to do something. Now." The decision was made. Slipping out of the common room, the three friends began their silent journey through the castle's empty corridors. Every shadow seemed to twist into a menacing shape. Every distant creak made their hearts pound in their chests. They moved like ghosts themselves, tiptoeing past portraits of sleeping wizards, dodging the ever-watchful gaze of Filch and his cat, Mrs. Norris, and carefully sidestepping enchanted suits of armor that might spring to life at any moment. Finally, they reached the forbidden third-floor corridor. The heavy chains on the door rattled ominously as they pushed it open, a sound like a warning bell. Harry glanced at his friends, their faces pale in the dim moonlight filtering through a high window. "Stay close," he whispered. "We'll get through this together." Inside, their adventure truly began. It wasn't a simple corridor, but a gauntlet of magical challenges. The first room held a giant chessboard. The moment they stepped onto the black and white tiles, the stone pieces stirred, their massive forms turning to face the intruders. This wasn't just a game. It was a battle of wits and sacrifice. Next, they entered a chamber where the only way forward was to solve a series of intricate riddles etched into the walls, a test that demanded both sharp thinking and immense courage. Then came a room filled with a swarm of enchanted keys, their wings beating frantically near the high ceiling. Somewhere among them was the one key that would unlock the final door. This is where the trio's strengths shone brightest. Hermione's brilliant mind unraveled the riddles with breathtaking speed. Ron, ever the strategist, bravely mounted a giant knight on the chessboard and directed their perilous path across. And Harry, with his seeker's reflexes, soared on a broom to snatch the correct, rusty-winged key from the air. Their teamwork was seamless, each friend's talent complementing the others, allowing them to overcome obstacles no single first year could ever hope to conquer. They pushed open the last door and found themselves in a quiet, circular room. Dominating the space was a magnificent, ornate mirror, the Mirror of Erist. Its surface shimmered with a strange, alluring light, and Harry felt an inexplicable pull toward it. Carved into its golden frame were the words, "I show not your face, but your heart's desire." Harry stepped closer, his reflection staring back at him. But as he looked, the image changed. He saw himself pulling the Philosopher's Stone from his own pocket. Then, behind him, a shadowy figure materialized, the face of Voldemort, a ghostly warning of the danger that lay ahead. Hermione gasped, understanding dawning in her eyes. "Harry, this isn't just about magic. It's a test of your character. Only someone who wanted to find the stone, but not use it for themselves, could ever get it." At that moment, Harry knew with absolute certainty. He didn't want the stone for power or riches. He wanted it only to protect it, to keep it from the hands of evil. Just then, a dark shape emerged from the doorway behind them. It was the same cloaked, sinister figure they had seen lurking in the Forbidden Forest months ago. A cold, hissing voice echoed in the chamber. "Step aside, boy. I've come for what is rightfully mine." But Harry, Ron, and Hermione didn't move. They stood together, a united front. "You won't get it," Harry declared, his wand held steady. "We're protecting Hogwarts." The figure lunged forward, and the duel erupted. Flashes of red and green light illuminated the room as spells flew through the air. The chamber shook with the raw power being unleashed. Working as one, the trio dodged, deflected, and cast their own defensive charms. Their courage, their quick thinking, and their unwavering friendship gave them the strength to hold off an enemy far more powerful than themselves. With a final, desperate surge of energy, Harry reached out and pressed his hand against the mirror's cool surface. As he did, he felt a sudden weight in his pocket. The stone! It glowed brightly through the fabric of his robes, then vanished from its pedestal in the mirror, safely secured by the very magic designed to protect it. The cloaked figure let out a scream of pure frustration and rage, its form dissolving into the shadows and disappearing completely. Silence fell upon the chamber once more, broken only by the trio's ragged breaths. "We did it," Harry said, his voice barely a whisper. "We stopped him. For now." Hermione nodded, her face smudged with dust, but alight with triumph. Courage, intelligence, and loyalty. That's what protects the stone, and that's how we won. Together. Exhausted but exhilarated, they carefully retraced their steps, slipping back into the Gryffindor common room just as the first hints of dawn touched the sky. Lying in his bed, Harry stared at the canopy above. He thought of the stone, the terrifying cloaked figure, and the incredible magic that pulsed through the very walls of Hogwarts. He knew this was only the beginning. More challenges, more dangers awaited them. But looking back on the night, he knew one thing for sure. Whatever came next, they would face it together. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this magical adventure, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the wizarding world. See you in the next video.